So now let's talk about the physical properties of alcohols and alkyl halides. When it comes to the geometry of these groups, carbon that is bound to an OH or a halide is sp3 hybridized and it is tetrahedral. Also, the carbon oxygen or carbon halide bonds, just based on their electronegative nature, are polarized. We know that these will be pointed towards either the oxygen or the halide. The carbon atom, thus bonded to an oxygen or a halide, is going to be partially positive. That's in all cases, again, because oxygen and halides are electronegative. So because of these dipole moments, CO and CX bonds are polarized. So alcohols and acyl halides are polar in general. And their dipole moments are comparable to that of water. So you can see in the direction of a dipole vector, which is showed here, there's implied partial charges on the C oxygen or a halide. So again, if we want to look at water, water we know is polar. Hydrogens have a partial positive charge on them, and the oxygen has a partial negative charge on them because of their polarity. Methanol, which is comparable to water in its dipole moment, you can see they have very similar dipole moments. Methanol, which is a one long carbon alcohol, also has partial positive charge on its methyl group on the carbon here, or the single hydrogen, and partial negative charge on the oxygen. Also, a single carbon bound to a halide, chloromethane, again, similar dipole moment to the similarly sized molecules. Carbon has the partial positive, and chlorine has a partial negative. So in both compounds, generally the heteroatom is going to bear a significant negative charge. We can see that in our electrostatic potential maps. You can see that here is our oxygen in methanol. You can see that the red, remember, means partial negative. Here is our chloromethane. Here's the chlorine, and again, the red is the negative area. And of course, on the hydrogen of an alcohol, there's a partial positive. And in chloromethane, the hydrogens on the carbon are what have the partial positive. So because these molecules are polar, because alcohols and alkyl halides are polar, they can engage in a type of bonding called dipole-dipole interactions or dipole-induced dipole forces. These are forces, we've talked about intermolecular forces, these are forces that are stronger than London dispersion forces or van der Waals forces. So we talked about in alkanes, these London forces are all that the types of interactions you have between molecules of alkanes. But if you have an alcohol or you have an alkyl halide, they will have dipole-dipole interactions, which these types of intramolecular forces, just like they affect boiling and melting point in alkanes, dipole-dipole interactions affect boiling point and melting point in alkyl halides and alcohols. So remember this also in the lab we talked about effects on melting point and also now into boiling point. So intermolecular forces are what are going to change the boiling or melting point interactions that you find in molecules. So because these are stronger, what happens to our boiling point? Our boiling point is going to increase. So ethanol has a boiling point of 78 degrees Celsius, whereas propane has a boiling point of negative 42 degrees Celsius. So those stronger forces make it harder to get ethanol or an alkyl halide like fluoroethane to boil or melt, and thus you need more heat to accomplish that. Alcohols in particular have a very highly polarized OH bond. And this can engage in a special type of dipole interaction called hydrogen bonding. And that's why actually when you look at this difference between ethanol and fluoroethane, ethanol's boiling point is so high because it has hydrogen bonding occurring. So what can occur is that the partial negative on an oxygen of an ethane molecule can interact with the partial positive of a hydrogen on another ethane molecule. Now, these types of bonds, these interactions between partial charged oxygens and partial charged hydrogens, this can only occur between oxygens and hydrogens or nitrogen-hydrogen bonds. And they are directional, so they do involve a little bit of electron sharing. So this is a special type of bond. Compared to a covalent bond or ionic bond, hydrogen bonding is much weaker. However, because some electron density is actually shared, we do call this a bond, a hydrogen bond that is occurring. So it's a very weak type of bonding, but it can occur between molecules instead of within the molecule. So again, because of this, boiling point increases are going to be much higher in these alcohols, and that's due to the hydrogen bonding. So the trend of boiling point increasing with molecular weight is going to be the same as you get bigger, boiling point increases. But when you compare to a normal alkane, or you look at the type of substituent that you add on, the OH is going to make a considerable difference compared to if you used a halide like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine. Now, within the halides, the thing that will change its boiling point is its polarizability. So with more polarizability, you have increase in boiling point. And what you see from this chart is as you go from fluorine to iodine, boiling point increases. So just based on that, you can tell that iodine is more polarizable than bromine, then chlorine, and then fluorine. What that means, what polarizability is the ability to have the electron cloud around an atom distort its shape. And generally, this occurs when you have larger halogens. So iodine is the largest of these halogens, and fluorine is the smallest of these halogens. So the bigger you get, the more polarizability, and that means larger boiling point. This is for the alkyl halides. And also, the more alkyl halides you put around a carbon, that also creates a bigger electron cloud, which also increases the boiling point. So here we're using the same halide, this is chlorine, and you'll see that the more chlorines you put around, the larger the boiling point. For solubility, alkyl halides, the rule for them is they just generally are insoluble in water. Pretty straightforward. Now, when it comes to alcohols, when you have a low molecular weight alcohol, a small alcohol, these are soluble in water very easily. Ethanol obviously mixes with water because it's an alcohol. We know that when you drink a beer or drink wine or any other beverage. It's not pure ethanol, right? It's mixed with water and other things. So small alcohols can hydrogen bond with water and they are soluble. However, when you start getting a really, really, really big alkyl chain, alcohol, so this is still an alcohol, it still has an OH group on it, but it has a very long alkyl chain attached to it, and this chain is all hydrophobic. This is all carbons and hydrogens. Doesn't do well in water, and this will make the compound generally insoluble because of this hydrophobic effect. Okay, so that's the end of this portion. Next up, we're going to dive into reactions with alcohols and halides. So make sure you understand their naming and their properties, and then we're going to get into some actual organic reactions involving them.